We are in sweet TNT for the Carifta Games, and all eyes will be on the Twin Island Republic for the festivities that will take place over the next 4 days, over the Easter weekend. And it's an absolute pleasure bringing all of this to you. We are live from the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad for what is expected to be an exciting few days. It's the Carifta Games, the 2025 edition, and we welcome you to our broadcast. My name is Donald Oliver, and I'm with Ricardo Chambers and Vidya Ramphal. And I tell you what, the rhythm stand is blasting off in the stands, and they are creating such a wonderful atmosphere at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. And if this is any indication as to what the next few days will be, it's going to be filled with a lot of vim, vigor, and maybe some vitality, as well as some wonderful performances on the track, on the field, and of course in the pool a few meters away, as the swimming Carifta Championships will also be taking place simultaneously. But what a gorgeous shot of this Hazley Crawford Stadium, a new relayed surface here for the athletes to enjoy over the next 3 days. And I tell you what, the athletes are looking forward to it. We expect the stands to be filled, and of course we here in the commentary box looking forward to what is expected here. And again, we welcome you to our coverage. Ricardo is right beside me. He's pumped as well. The question is, how pumped is he?
Well, Donald, I'm always pumped for the Carifta Games. There's no doubt about it. My first Carifta Games was in St. Kitts and Nevis, followed by a trip to Grenada. And one of the things that you always enjoy with Carifta is with the music, the instrumentals. And you speak about the rhythm band in full flow already. The Bahamians are not even here yet, and they are usually the loudest at the Carifta Games. And I think it's going to be a great battle inside the stands in 2025 with the steel bands and the rhythm bands in Trinidad and Tobago. And then you're talking about the Bahamians. The Jamaicans will come with their unique flavor and way of cheering and making noise as well. And that is always such a fantastic and rich part of the Carifta Games experience. And 2025 in Port of Spain is expected to be no different.
I know that Vidya is somewhere upstairs with us, and I'm going to ask him to join him as he just gives us a highlight on what's happening so far as the energy that we are feeling inside the National Stadium. Vidya?
Yes, and what you was hello Donald, and what you were talking about the in terms of the rhythm section, that's one of the rhythm sections that has been contracted to play here at the events. They are very much popular at the secondary schools football games. So they've reached out to a lot of the schools and they get them in here to play. And boy, do they provide some entertainment throughout the evening.
Yep. You can see them really taking off. You mentioned before, Ricardo, that usually the bands from the Bahamas create this atmosphere. We saw it in Jamaica when we were covering it. We saw it, of course, in the Bahamas as well as in Grenada. But this is quite something. The schools, the high schools of Trinidad and Tobago, some of them are involved in creating the atmosphere here. And again, this is just a synopsis of what we expect over the next few days.
Yeah, and this is so important for the Carifta Games because you're talking about junior athletes, both at the track and field championship and at the aquatics championship. And I think why that is it's so important is that you want the high schoolers who see their peers on a daily basis at school to have the opportunity to be part of this experience in different ways, whether as spectators or in this particular way that we're talking about now. So that's significant, and that's how you're going to get the massive crowds inside the venues. That's by including just about everyone, because Carifta is not just for the athletes. It is as important for the fans. It is as important for those students who have the opportunity to know the young athletes. For some of them, they look at them as superstar athletes, and it makes one big, wonderful party, and this is just the start of it.
I know we have a big audience in Jamaica as well, and of course the Jamaicans are used to boys and girls champs. Can you put into synopsis as to how different the atmosphere is? Because I know that a lot of Jamaicans would have been a part of a particular atmosphere in Jamaica for boys and girls champs. How would this affect them, and of course other nations coming into an atmosphere like this, if it would affect their performances in a better way, or maybe they're a little bit nervous? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think it always comes down to the individual. There are those individuals who are able to rise and lift their performances when they have more support, when they have bigger crowds. There are others who will be intimidated by that. And that's, I think, just generally how life is. I don't think there is any one particular way that individuals respond to situations like this. But what I think I can say is that generally with experience, you expect persons to handle themselves better in situations of this nature. And so those athletes who have had the opportunity to compete in front of large crowds, and you'll find that it's a number of them. You speak about the Jamaican High School Championships, but there is also the High School Championships in Grenada, which is fantastic, and they have marvelous crowds throughout their week of competition. You think about the Bahamas, they have decent crowds as well. BSAC in Barbados, they have good support. So it's all about, I think, just being able to rely on your training. When you're coached well, when you're trained well, and you come into these environments, you're able to handle it. You're able to draw on the coaching that you have received over time, and that is what a number of these athletes will be doing over the next 4 days.
Yeah, you know that Vidya is our chaperone, right? So he's the one in charge as far as taking us across the place, and Trinidad and Tobago and the experience that we will experience is unique to us, but not to Vidya, who can highlight a little bit more about the experience and the energy that we're feeling at this point in time, and how the athletes will adapt to what we're experiencing here. Vidya.
Yeah, I tell you what, we are very welcoming people. We love to have the athletes here, and I think we have, it's been 20 years since the games have been held here in Trinidad and Tobago, and in fact it's 22 years since it's been held here at the Hasty Crawford Stadium. So we always love to see the athletes, and I think those who would have seen that 2003 games would remember a young man called Usain St. Leo Bolt who set several records here at the Hasty Crawford Stadium. So we're looking forward to it. You're going to enjoy the drumming. I hope you guys get to enjoy some of the food here, the bacon shark and the pilau, and of course the doubles. Don't miss that at all, Donald. I know you're going to love it. Yeah, it's going to be a great games, and we are really looking forward to it.
Are you anticipating bigger crowds here?
I certainly do hope that there will be. I will expect that there will be a lot more over the weekend, as it's Good Friday. A lot of people have been taking part in the Good Friday observances earlier today, so I expect that there will be some more coming out later on today and throughout the weekend.
As a nation, what do you anticipate Trinidad and Tobago highlighting over the next few days?
Well, of course, later on today we'll see the highlights of some of the cultural aspects of Trinidad and Tobago. There's a new song, a theme song, which is going to be launched today, and one of the greats of junior calypso in Trinidad and Tobago has had a hand in creating that song, so that will be out there. We'll see a lot of the culture of Trinidad and Tobago, and the carnival especially featured later on. In terms of the athletics, well, with the new track on, the entry as President Ephraim Surrett, former national 100-meter champion himself, he predicts that records will fall here, and it did in 2003, and I don't think there's any reason why it's not going to fall this time around.
Well, you ran on the track yesterday, Ricardo. I think you clocked 11.59 seconds over 100 meters. But what are your thoughts on the track, and what do you anticipate over the next few days?
Yeah, well, my time was actually 10.48, and I was
10.48. My apologies.
Meters to go.
Right.
And I ran into a negative 1.5 meters per second.
Okay,
so
we got that.
You can do the calculations and realize that I'm really in about 10-1 shape at the moment.
10-1.
But it's interesting because Video spoke about the last time the Carifta Games were held here at the Hasty Crawford Stadium, but the last time it was in Trinidad and Tobago was actually at the Dwight York Stadium, and that was in 2005. That was a Carifta Games that produced a lot of really good talent that went on to do really well internationally. Just for Trinidad and Tobago alone, for example, on the 100 100, 200 double for the under-20 girls. It was the rise of Johan Blake on the regional level because he won the under-17 100 and 200 meters, and an Antiguan by the name of Daniel Bailey, I think you've heard about him. He was the star in the under-20 sprint category, winning both the 100 and 200 meters. So if the quality that we get out of 2025 is anything that like we got out of 2005, then we're in for a real treat. Here's the other thing that is so significant about today's opening ceremony, and that is the fact that for the first time ever, at least as far as I am aware, we will have the opening ceremony with the swimmers and the track and field athletes sharing the same space. That is significant because never before have we had both events in the same country at the same time, and I think the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago can really be proud of what they have done here, because this is significant. It costs a lot of money and it's difficult to host just one of these events, so imagine taking on both of them at the same time. Of course, the swimming is going to be taking place in Cuba while the track and field is taking place here, but it's almost Olympic style, isn't it? Because all the athletes get to enjoy this stage on this day, 2 hours. It's all about them. It's all about celebrating the start of what we hope will be something extremely special.
Ricardo, I want to make you look like a genius, okay?
You don't have to try, my friend.
Well, okay, who is going to win the 100-meter gold for men and women in both categories then, since I'm trying to help you out here?
You don't need a genius, my friend. What you need is a crystal ball in trying to decide that. I think on the girls'
no,
side,
I'm not going to put you on the spot. I really am.
You're not.
I just want you to highlight the big names that we should anticipate hearing at these games.
Well, certainly on the girls' side, Sabrina Dockery out of Jamaica, who is the defending champion, upset Tiana Lee Terrelong a year ago, and she returns this time around as the favorite. There is Shanoya Douglas, who is a world under-20 200 bronze medalist from Jamaica. The Frederick twins from Trinidad and Tobago, there will be in the lineup. Gialina Downey, who won bronze for Antigua and Barbuda last year. So it's a really good girls under-20 field. The boys under-20 field, wide open, wide open. Take your pick. I think there are about 6 or 7 boys who all feel that they could make a name for themselves here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium.
You know what it's time for now? It's time for a break. We'll be back with so much more right here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Please stay with us. Well, the opening ceremony is about to start here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium as we are anticipating a few exciting things here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, Ricardo, I tell you what, the noise has dissipated, so I think we're just anticipating the start of it very, very soon.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the calm before the storm, and really looking forward to this, and this is the beginning of it all.
The Tassa drummers are making their way out, as well as the carnival characters, to get us underway here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium.
Yeah, this is the police band, very popular here in Trinidad and Tobago, often invited to all of the school sports around the country. They're very popular. They always try to get involved in playing some of the favorite tunes from around the world. And no different here today. They're in action, and always great to see the police band. And as you would notice, just on the left-hand side, they've incorporated also some African drums in there, in addition to the snare drums that they're playing right now. So the Defense Force, Trinidad and Tobago featured here. Some of the police officers involved also. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force in Trinidad and Tobago is the only defense force around the world to have a steel band also involved. They also have a steel band with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. They're making their way across the field, which has been significantly refurbished for these games. Boy,
I must admit, one of the things I picked up when I entered the facility for the first time a few days ago was the beauty of the, can I say, the football field. I thought it looked in pristine condition and still does look in pristine condition.
There is the fire service band now coming out, another one of the popular bands from across Trinidad and Tobago. And they are making their way out playing their music. The song, by the way, was done originally by Baron, the very sweet-voiced Trinidad and Tobago calypso and soca singer. Very popular hit of his from the 1980s. That's what was played earlier by the first band to come on.
Yeah, Vidya, I get the impression that if you love music, if you love instrumentals, if you love bands, then this is the place to be for Easter weekend.
Oh, it certainly is. Outside of the track and field, you're going to get all the entertainment here, especially in this opening ceremony, as the fire band makes their way across. Of course, I feel it for the tuba man at the back. Take that out. It's a real effort to carry that around this track. And the Prisons Band is the last one to make their way across, and the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service.
Just to make
all of the protective services have these bands attached to them. It's another part of the development of the officers, and it's a great way in which they reach out to the community and be part of the fabric, the social fabric of the communities around Trinidad and Tobago. This again is the fire service band. They'll make their way alongside the police band in the middle of the field. The field also has been refurbished, by the way, for upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Trinidad and Tobago in action here.
Just to make the point as well that as far as opening ceremonies at the Carifta Games are concerned, that you have different days. So take, for example, 2 years ago in the Bahamas, the opening ceremony was held as a standalone event on the Friday, but last Grenada, the opening ceremony was part of the opening day, which was the Saturday, and you have that happening. I think that is what happens most times, that the opening ceremony takes place on the first competition, just ahead of the start of the second session, the evening session. But I think it's always nice as well when you can have it as a standalone event like it was a couple years ago in the Bahamas. There have been times in the past as well where has taken place on the Friday. The last time I can remember was in St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm trying to remember what year that was. Wonderful event in St. Kitts and Nevis. More often than not, the first day of competition is the Saturday.
Yes, it certainly is, and this has been a feature of many of the games in the past half a decade or so. This, of course, you're looking at the Prisons Band, the light. I know the ladies will not forgive me for this. I'm going to say beige, but maybe you can correct me on the color. But the lighter colored uniforms of the Prison Service of Trinidad and Tobago making their way. The khaki, that's the correction coming my way.
Yeah, you did say the ladies, so Donald and I could not help you on that one at all. Donald probably would say brown.
Brown, that's what I would go with. So at least I was a little bit closer.
The Bahamians are very much here in Trinidad and Tobago. They are inside the Hazley Crawford Stadium. They're nowhere close to full tilt yet, but you can feel their presence already.
The Prisons Band, they're playing David Rudder's great composition from 1986, Bahia Girl. That was the year that David Rudder won all three of the competitions in Trinidad and Tobago. Calypso Monarch, he won the Young Kings title, and he also won in that year the Road March, and that Bahia Girl, one of the great classics in Trinidad and Tobago.
What's his biggest hit video?
Oh yeah, I don't need to answer that. Rally around the West Indies, of course. So the Honorable Stuart Young, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and he is accompanied by the Minister of Sport and Youth and Community Development, Shamfa Kujo, and also with him, and the Prime Minister installed in office only last month, 17th March 2025. National anthem coming your way.
From the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race finds an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race finds an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Yeah.
John Thomas, operatic tenor there, performing the national anthem.
right now. But we would like to start off with an invocation, a prayer. And I would like to welcome Minister Mahalia Pear. Let us now center ourselves in purpose and unity as we invite Minister Pear to offer today's invocation.
Bless the Lord. Father, we praise you. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we thank you that we can lift up your holy name today. We count it an honor and a privilege to gather here on this blessed soil of Trinidad and Tobago on this Good Friday. Somebody say Good Friday for the 2025 Carifta Games. Lord, we recognize that every good gift and talent and ability comes from you. Father, today we declare that this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We invite your Holy Spirit to take full control, overshadow this place with your peace, your power, and your presence. Right now we cover every athlete with your peace, every coach, every official, every volunteer, every spectator, and every parent under the blood of Jesus. Let your angels encamp around about this stadium. We drive out every wicked plan of the enemy, and let your glory reign. Father, we pray for unity. Unity among every nation gathered here today. That this will be more than just a competition, but it will be a place for celebration of purpose, of passion, of potential. Let integrity be upheld, sportsmanship overflow, and every youth that steps onto this field run with strength, courage, and heart. Father, we declare today that no weapon formed against this event shall prosper. We cancel every accident, every incident, every injury, and every disturbance in the mighty name of Jesus. As the records are run, as the races are run and the records will be broken, we say today it's going to bring honor to your name. And on this Good Friday, somebody say Good Friday. We believe that every dead and dormant dream, every muscle, every strength, every faith and joy will come to life again. Father, you are God of the second chance, the third and the fourth chances. We speak life into negative circumstances, and we recognize today that full potential and purpose will be resurrected in this game, just like the athletes will press on through every pain. Good Friday reminds us that suffering is not the end. Resurrection is coming. So every step in these races, every heartbeat, every breath is a chance for something to live again. And we seal this name, this prayer, in the name that is above every other name, in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. And everybody shout, Amen!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please be seated. Above the Caribbean, in the sacred space where the breath of the...
So we've had so far the bands, the three bands of the Protective Services in Trinidad and Tobago perform. Minister Mahalia Pierre opening with the prayer. And today's ceremony is being narrated by the celebrated actress from Trinidad and Tobago, Cecilia Salazar. And here we're seeing the first of the carnival characters to come out. These are the very, very popular character in Trinidad and Tobago, the stilt walkers or the moko jumbies. And as you can see, the stilt walkers, very, very difficult. I'd love to see Donald attempt that at some point. Donald? And it's fashioned in like a hummingbird.
You have real dark humor, my friend. Real dark.
Yes, the hummingbird, one of the birds that you would find here in Trinidad and Tobago, certainly celebrated. And all of them, really all of these designs representing the different colors of the hummingbird that you would see in Trinidad and Tobago.
Chasing isolated destinies. Their songs rose high, yet crashed down unheard, splintered by the winds. Their strength, though vast, lay scattered like the stars adrift in the vast midnight sea. The spirits gathered, summoned by the cry of a people yearning, though they knew it not, for unity, for a new birth of dreams. They stood together at the edge of time, weaving destinies in the loom of fate, ready to call forth new wonders. First emerged Zephyrus, the wind herald, he who dances with hurricanes, who whispers secrets to the swift-footed cheetahs, who carries the scent of the sea across 1,000 miles. His arrival stirred the air itself. Every blade of grass seemed to bow, every leaf to tremble.
Hear me, spirits. I bring the breath of unity, the swiftness of feet that must not run alone, but together, across hills and plains. I am the whisper before the race, the gust that fills the lungs of the determined, the push that lifts dreams into flight. Let us sow together a field where all may run, not in conflict, but in celebration.
Then came Mahika, the spirit of the sea, she who knows the ebb and flow of emotions, the depths of the unknown, and the rhythms of tides that govern all life. Her presence calms the storm, and yet in her depths there is power enough to drown mountains.
I am the breath of the tides, the pulse of the ocean wide. In my arms, all are carried by the current's gentle ride. I am the calm and the storm, the waves that rise and fall. I bring unity to the islands through the rhythm of us all.
Then came Morena, the spirit of the earth, she who is the heartbeat beneath our feet, the foundation of all that grows, the nurturing force that binds us to the soil. Her touch is both gentle and strong, as unyielding as the land itself.
I am the soil, the seed, the sun. I hold the pulse of everyone. With each breath I feed the land, uniting hearts across the sand. I am the earth's eternal flow. In every root, my strength will grow. From mountain peak to ocean floor, we rise as one forevermore.
From the heights of the blinding sun descended Solari, bearer of the flames of ambition and joy. He shimmered with the brilliance of midday, wrapped in cloths of gold and fire, and his voice rang out like calypso on carnival morning.
I am the fire in every stride, the joy that cannot be contained. I ignite dreams that soar and fly, as bright as the sun rains. Let our passions blaze like fire. Let our spirits burn as one. Together we go shine. Rise as one.
Then appeared Aurelia, the spirit of memory and dreams, the keeper of ancient knowledge and future hopes. Her presence is that of a whisper, the breath of ancestors carried on the winds, ever guiding those who seek to remember and create anew.
I am the pulse of ancient days, the song that time cannot erase. In my heart, all wisdom lies. In my breath, the future rises. Through me, past and future meet. In every dream, I plant the seed. Let us dance with memory's grace and build tomorrow's sacred place.
But not all who gathered came with light and hope. From the shadowed depths emerged oblivion, whose whispers of doubt and despair echoed through the hearts of all. He is the force that tries to divide, and so fair.
Let them fight. Let them fall. What are dreams after all? Unity is but a lie, a fleeting truth that cannot fly. I am the weight that holds them down, the shadow that spreads across the ground. Let them falter, let them fail, for in the end, I will prevail. We must act. The people's future depends on us.
But their dreams will turn to ashes.
Without unity, their fire will consume them.
Their history will be lost to the void.
But the earth cannot nurture discord.
Yes, yes, let them falter.
From the heart of the storm arose a new sound, not of chaos, but of resolve, a gathering drumbeat, a pulse, a breath. The spirits remembered. Unity was not the absence of struggle. It was the decision to face it together. Thus the Carifta Games were born, not from ease, but from the forging fire of unity, not from sameness, but from the rich tapestry of difference. And every year, as the young champions gather, the spirits dance once more, reminding us all of what is possible when we dare to run, not against each other, but pacing each other along the road to excellence and towards a common dream.
Come and feel the passion, come and feel the pride. We're on the track and in the pool, we're on the field and our dreams collide. The Caribbean's coming, they're bringing their dreams so bold. Sweet Trinidad and Tobago,
Let's go!
our dreams are all about to
How Caribbean wave your flag, how Caribbean wave your flag. We come in, we come in, we come in to bring home the let this story unfold. Let's go! Igniting passion, fueling dreams. Witness the strength, witness the heart, and the Caribbean team in the lane.
on the field, yeah, the whole Caribbean scream.
Carifta 2025. Igniting passion, fueling dreams. Witness the strength, witness the heart, and the Caribbean. Who you representing now? Bahamas, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Vincent. Only get up your chair. Wave with me.
Trinidad to Bahamas, feel the flame ignite, piercing the water, making waves, going for glory, chasing light. On the track you hear feet of thunder, on the field our spirits soar. These are Caribbean champions,
Hey,
coming
hey,
to break
hey.
limits.
All Caribbean wave your flag, all Caribbean wave your flag. We come in, we come in, to bring home the gold, let the story unfold.
Trinidad and Tobago,
Igniting passion, fueling dreams. Witness the strength, witness the heart, and the Caribbean team.
in the lanes, on the field, yeah, the whole Caribbean scream.
Carifta 2025.
We're living the dream.
Igniting passion, fueling dreams. Witness the strength, witness the heart, and the Caribbean team.
In the lanes, on the field, yeah, the whole Caribbean scream.
Carifta 2025.
We're living the dream.
Who you representing? I see in Barbados.
We're
I see
living
St. Vincent. Somebody missing. Somebody missing. Trinidad and Tobago. Make some noise.
We're living the dream. We're living the dream.
Well, I don't have to say, but a lusty round of applause for a beautiful cultural program, vibrantly depicting the birth of the Carifta Games. I am your host, and I'm joined by the lovely Cecilia Salazar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A heartfelt welcome.
Well, it's been interesting so far what we've seen here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium as far as these opening ceremonies are concerned for these Carifta Games, Vidya.
Yeah, certainly it's been great so far. We've seen some of the rich cultural heritage of Trinidad and Tobago displayed with the stilt walkers in their display earlier today. We also heard Living the Dream, Risa and Cassell, the two singers that you would have seen. That song was written by Carla Cupid and Enrico Camejo. Enrico Camejo, interestingly enough, is the PRO of the Entriers of Trinidad and Tobago, and his daughter Charissa is a two-time National Junior Calypso Monarch winner. And the two characters that you would have seen, the large characters, Tantan and Saga Boy. Saga Boy was to the right of your picture, and that was, of course, those were created by Peter Minshall, the great massman out of Trinidad and Tobago.
They say this is the most important part of opening ceremonies. That is the athletes parade. And now we'll meet the countries that will be taking part at the Carifta Aquatics Championships and the Carifta Track and Field Championships for 2025. Track and field taking place right here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Swimming taking place in Cuva. Of course, open water swimming coming up on the 23rd.
That's taking place at the Five Island Amusement Center. That's in Chaguaramas, which is to the west of us here, the wonderful peninsula. Hope you guys get a chance to see. It's a wonderful place.
It's a massive weekend of sports in Trinidad and Tobago as well, because massive cycling event is also taking place.
Yeah, that's right. The Easter Grand Prix, which is traditionally held in Arima, the Arima Velodrome, another great track and field venue here in TNT, and also at the National Cycling Velodrome, which interestingly enough is right next to the National Aquatic Center. I don't think it's going to be used this year because of the presence of the Carifta Games, but also being held in Arima.
Anguilla, the first team to make their way out. They have produced Zarnell Hughes. They'll be looking to deliver another champion at the Carifta Games in 2025. Spoke about Daniel Bailey not too long ago, who starred in the under-20 sprints the last time the Carifta Games were held in Trinidad and Tobago. Antigua and Barbuda, they have a lot of talent in their lineup as well, both in swimming and track and field.
And they'll be hoping to add to that tally of 62 medals that they've had in these games over the years. 28 goals in there also for Antigua and Barbuda.
They have been building a really vibrant track and field program in the last few years. They have quality sprinters. They also have good athletes in the field. What a moment for these young athletes. The start of what they hope will be long and fruitful careers. Sizable contingent for them. They will be well represented in both the sports here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Only 5 medals overall at the Carifta Games since 1990, but certainly they'll be hoping to add to that. The country of Aruba, Aruba Sweet Land, that is the name of their national anthem.
The Bahamas hosted Carifta 50 a couple years ago. In track and field, they're the last team to beat Jamaica. In swimming, they've won the last 6 times, and they're hoping to make it 7 in 2025.
You talk about vibrancy, you talk about atmosphere. The Bahamians bring it across the board in both track and field and in swimming, and they usually have a very large contingent to take part in these games. You can almost feel the energy from the track.
So many swimming stars in their lineup, and they have quality on the track as well.
Well, Barbados making their way on right now. Barbados certainly an island dominated by the cricketers, but they produce some fine track and field athletes over the years. Obadele Thompson comes to mind immediately.
Their only Olympic individual medalist, Obadele Thompson, 100 bronze in Sydney 2000. He's probably somewhere in Texas watching this broadcast. Oba, if you are, hope you're doing well. They've set lofty goals for Carifta 2025 Barbados, certainly, as in track and field.
Can't leave out one Shade Williams as well, and what she's been able to do on the track in recent years for this country.
Don't forget also Ryan Braffett would have won a gold medal in the 110-meter hurdles, 2009 World Championships in Berlin. Another one of the athletes to mention out of Barbados. Very popular for their cricketers. You can name so many. The most cricketing nights of any country in the Caribbean.
Talk about cricket, you know who the greatest of all time is.
Bermuda, if you're talking about their greatest, no need to look further than Dame Flora Duffy, Olympic champion in the triathlon back in Tokyo, Commonwealth champion in 2022 as well. I know that's a day Donald Oliver will never forget, the Commonwealth Games triathlon in Birmingham in 2022, and that's because Donald took a very special trip that he may or may not want to tell the entire world.
It appears more like not. Here's Bonnier on at this time, one of the smaller islands competing in this event. I don't think they've ever won a medal at the Carifta Track and Field Championships. Netherlands, Antilles and Aruba have before, but not Bonnier. They'll be hoping to break that duck here in Trinidad and Tobago.
British Virgin Islands, their numbers as far as track and field medals have been declining, but they had a fabulous time in Kingston in 2022, led by Adeja Hodge, who has unfortunately not returned to the Carifta Games since her Austin Sealy Award exploits in Kingston. Picked up just one medal last year in Grenada. Deandre Frett, their medal winner, he's back this year, so he'll be looking to deliver for them once more. The Cayman Islands, well, what a time they had in Grenada, including a 1-2 finish in the under-20 boys 100 meters. Devontae Howell might have won. Well, he won the gold medal. He might have taken Johan Blake's under-20 record had he not eased up with meters to go. This time around, they take a 15-member unit for track and field. A young squad they have, but they'll be looking to do their small nation proud.
Here's Curacao, just 8 medals overall in track and field at the Carifta Games within the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
2 of those 8 medals came last year in Grenada, so they'll be looking to add to that. Dominica, the Commonwealth of Dominica, their newest and greatest star, Tia Lafont, the Olympic champion in the triple jump, and maybe she will inspire a generation of great Dominican athletes. They have Carol Etienne in the under-20 girls 100 meters. Just outside the medals at the under-17 level a year ago. Massive occasion for them. And they'll be looking for more medals. Just one last year, Dominica. They have the quality to get more this time around, will they?
Here is French Guyana, 15 medals overall since 1990, and certainly sporadic in terms of their production rate, unlike their neighbor Guyana, who have really started to make a name for themselves in the track and field competition.
And you talk about Team Grenada and what they've done, especially in the field over the last few years.
Yeah, they have quality on the track this year as well, but they also have real quality in the pool. Tilly Collymore, who was at the Commonwealth Games in 2022 as part of their 10-member swimming squad. And they also have Ethan Sam, who was a real standout at the Carifta Games in the Bahamas on the track. He's back. He's in the under-20 100 and 200 meters for boys. And he'll be looking to be back among the medals after an injury-plagued 2024 at home in Grenada. We had a wonderful time in Grenada last year, last year's hosts, looking to deliver big in 2025. Guadeloupe has produced so many champions at the Carifta Games in both swimming and track and field. I think they have been especially good in the field, especially in the throws and the triple and long jump events in track and field. Always a force at these Carifta Games.
They are in sight of a special milestone at the Carifta Games. They're on 47 gold medals, and who will vote against them getting that 50th medal here in Trinidad?
Guyana is up next. You speak about a renaissance in sport, and not just their new industrial age, I suppose.
So much quality in Guyana, a program that is building and getting better with each year. They have some of the biggest stars in track and field at these Carifta Games. Tiana Springer, the defending under-20 girls 400 champion. Malachi Austin, who won the under-20 boys 400 meters last year. That's going to be one of the highlight events on tomorrow's opening day of track and field competition. Malachi Austin against the two Jamaicans who have gone sub-46 this season. Austin has not gone as fast as he did since his Carifta win last year, but he knows how to get it right when it matters. Guyana followed by Haiti, and then the black, green and gold of Jamaica.
Certainly eagerly anticipated to see what Jamaica will do and the new stars that will come out of this Jamaica team. And well, in fact, a very interesting, saw one of the comments of the coaches in Trinidad and Tobago saying, we're aiming for a top 2 finish. That's say a lot.
I saw that comment as well, speaking to the track and field competition. I think the expectation is that Jamaica will top the medal table. Trinidad and Tobago, 3rd last year, trying to move up at least a spot ahead of the Bahamas. That could be a grand battle, but Jamaica dominant in track and field over the years. Their swimmers not in the same category. They've had to play 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and sometimes 5th fiddle. And they'll be looking to improve in swimming, but certainly the dominant track and field nation with a plethora of stars.
Martinique coming up next.
Interestingly, some of the athletes in blue and some in green to represent the colors. Usually we would see them wear blue a lot more in terms of football and the other sports they compete in. Martinique, one of the French islands, of course, in the Caribbean. 71 gold medals to speak about. And behind the big countries, Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados, Martinique is next in terms of medals won in Carifta track and field.
Martinique, followed by Montserrat.
Smaller presence for Montserrat over the years since the volcanic eruption. And they've lost so many athletes as a result of that. Runsford Beaton, the fast bowler out of Guyana, was actually born in Montserrat. He went on to run track and field in Guyana, did very well before the cricket bug bit. That's OC the Ocelot, the official mascot for the games here in Trinidad and Tobago. Believe me, you don't want to run into an ocelot anywhere around. It's quite a fierce little creature.
St. Kitts and Nevis, 3 silver medals in track and field in Grenada a year ago. They have in their ranks this year Jalen Bennett, a 400 under-17 silver medalist in the Bahamas. Maybe this year he's back to his best form and can add to their medal tally. The home of Kim Collins, the World 100 champion in 2003, a year after he won the Commonwealth title in Manchester, England. How about St. Lucia? They have the freshest global star in track and field. Of course, she's not competing at these Carifta Games. Unfortunately, one of the biggest names for them, Naomi London. Double silver in the Bahamas at the under-17 level. 2 years ago, she withdrew late from the event, citing a slight injury. So unfortunately, she will not be here. Big miss for the Carifta Games for a second consecutive year. But still, they have the likes of Nia Jules, who will be in the pole vault once again, expected to do well, the defending champion. They're looking for more medals at Carifta.
And Julian Alfred's performance last year will certainly fire up these athletes. I think we will see a great performance from St. Lucia's athletes here. Saint Martin, the island that is partly Dutch, partly French. Very unusual, affected badly by the hurricanes some years ago. A muted presence at the Carifta Games. They will be hoping to get off the mark here also. Yeah, St. Vincent and the Grenadines certainly have not performed as well as they would have wanted to at these Carifta Games. Just 9 medals in all. But there's a very healthy presence of people from St. Vincent and the Grenadines here. Kendall Velox, their famous footballer, their most famous footballer, has played for several years here in Trinidad and Tobago. He's retired now, but a lot of great memories about him here.
Healthy presence indeed. They don't have Keir Davis. He would have been among the favorites for the under-20 boys 100 and 200 meters. An injury at their Carifta trials has ruled him out of Carifta. Real unfortunate. Suriname.
Another country that hopes will fire things up here, Suriname, just 14 medals overall, gold medals. And they will be looking for a great performance. Trinidad and Tobago has had some great battles with Suriname in other sports, but they'll be hoping that they can fire themselves up here in Trinidad and Tobago on the track.
So once these athletes complete their parade, they head into the grandstand and they will help complete the filling.
Turks and Caicos Islands coming up next. A growing sporting program in the country, getting a lot more schools involved at the high school level as well, looking to clock more medals, showcasing the fruits of their labor. Not a bad contingent here for these games.
Visited the Turks and Caicos Islands late last year. It was a wonderful visit. They seem very serious about their sport and improving the output at the Carifta level and beyond. They have produced a world under-20 champion in Delano Williams. That was over 200 meters in 2012. He's helping out as well in helping to lift the profile of sport in the country.
That looks to be the US Virgin Islands. 2 gold medals last year at the Carifta Games for the US Virgin Islands.
Both of them came from Michelle Smith, who had 3.
Made up of the islands of St. Croix, St. John and St. Thomas and 50 other smaller islands. US Virgin Islands are certainly a country on the move when it comes to sports.
Yeah, Michelle Smith won them 2 medals, 2 gold medals last year, culminating 3 outstanding years of performances at the Carifta Games.
And here is the home nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to the reception here at the Hasely Crawford Stadium.
Boy, I'm getting goosepimples just watching this. And I'm sure you are too if you are a supporter of Trinidad and Tobago. The Vuvuzelas are here and they are saluting the Trinidad and Tobago team coming on track.
In track and field, they have the reigning Austin Sealy Award winner, Janeda Gans, who returns in the under-20 girls long jump. What are the chances that she could repeat as Austin Sealy Award winner? If she is better than she was last year, there is all the chance in the world that she could win it back-to-back.
And they can better their 27 medals last year, 4 gold, 11 silver, and 12 bronze. Trinidad and Tobago hoping to make a massive impact on home soil.
It's not a case that Trinidad and Tobago have done great things when the events are held here. Only twice out of the 5 times that TNT finished in 2nd place. But one of the things that they've stressed to the athletes is to go out there and give your best and ensure that Trinidad and Tobago finishes in that top 2 position.
The last time the Carifta Games were held here, they did finish in a top 2 position. In fact, they finished 2nd behind Jamaica with 37 medals. 13 of them were gold medals, and I think that's the region they'll be looking at for 2025, double-figure gold medal count.
Yeah, certainly those games back in 2005 would have produced the likes of Keston Bledman for Trinidad and Tobago, future gold medalist. Renee Kwao also came out of that. And as you mentioned, Kellyanne Batiste before, yeah, she was superb at those games at the Dwight York Stadium.
Yeah, Renee Kwao won the 400 meters and a year later went on to a World Under-20 medal as well in China. So if you think about it all, great things have happened for Trinidad and Tobago whenever they host these Carifta Games. Certainly the last time. Kwao, Carifta champion in 2005, World Under-20 champion in 2006.
And the noise is deafening as the athletes make their way into the stands. Huge amount of applause for them, for the faithful, track and field faithful here in Trinidad and Tobago. There's the big grandstand here on the western side of the ground at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. That's where all of the fans gravitate towards, and then you fill out around the stadium.
I guess the other thing as well, Vidya, is with both track and field and swimming taking place over the next 3 to 4 days, if that will any at all impact the type of support that each will get in terms of spectators.
Yeah, it should. I mean, the venue at the Kufa area there, that only holds about 700 people. So it won't take away a huge amount of supporters. I expect that when they move on Tuesday to the Five Islands Amusement Center around in Chaguaramas, that there will be a big crowd there also. It won't take away too much from the track and field, though.
A round of applause as we welcome
Everyone please stand and clear the aisles. Thank you.
So the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stuart Young, there he is waving to the crowd. 32nd day as Prime Minister, actually, just to give you an exact count, in office last in March, 17 March to be exact. Took over from the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, and he's just about to declare the games open.
Good afternoon, Hazley Crawford Stadium. Good afternoon to all our CARICOM countries here. To the Honorable Shamfa Kujo Lewis, Minister of Sport and Community Development, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. To other ministers of governments. To Mr. Larry Romani, Chairperson of the Local Organizing Committee, Chairperson and Chair of the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago. To Ms. Maureen Cruz, President of Pan Am Aquatics. Captain Hussein Al Musalan, President of World Aquatics. Mr. Michael Sands, President of North America, Central America, and Caribbean Athletic Association. Mr. Sean Pouchet, President of the Association of Swimming of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Efren Serret, President of the National Amateur Athletics Association of Trinidad and Tobago. To our athletes, and let's hear it for our athletes. To our specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, well, I cannot begin to express the level of pleasure I have here today to see these young athletes who represent their countries come together for the games that will take place here in Trinidad and Tobago over the next few days. I want to assure all of CARICOM that Trinidad and Tobago stands ready to continue in our commitment to all of our young athletes as they come up through the ranks throughout the whole CARICOM region. Sport plays such a critical component in our societies. Having competed in competitive sports for my life, I know personally the value of what sport brings, not only to the individuals, the coaches, the families, but the communities. And to see our young people who are learning the lessons of discipline, the lessons of hard work, the lessons of success, the lessons sometimes of disappointment, the lessons of how to deal with what is coming at you in life. the lessons of strategy, but most importantly, sportsmanship is indeed a thrill and a pleasure. So today, I give our young people, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the rest of CARICOM, our commitment as the government of Trinidad and Tobago that we will continue investing in you as you continue flying the flag for whatever country you represent. Parents, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to your children. Thank you for waking up on those early mornings and making sure they're properly fed and they get to training. All of the sacrifices that families make, coaches, never underestimate the important role you play in the development of our young people. And today, as we gather here, and as we look at these young athletes, many of whom I am sure in the coming years will fly their respective flags high and make us proud as they represent CARICOM and their respective countries at the Olympics. Well done. Have a wonderful games, compete hard, compete well, build friendships that will last you a lifetime, and know that us, the older generation, are cheering you on, investing in you, and we believe in you because you will carry us, CARICOM, and your nations forward in the not too distant future. So welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Have fabulous games. Enjoy your hospitality. Don't take all of the medals away from us. And Trinidad and Tobago, I'm cheering and rooting for you with my biased self. As I was coming down the steps, all I was hearing is Stuarty. So Prime Minister Stuarty declares these games, the Carifta Games of 2025, open. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, I please invite you to stand as the Honorable Stuart Young takes his departure from the Hazel Crawford Stadium. Thank you again, Honorable Prime Minister.
So that was Prime Minister Stuart Young, or as he put it, Prime Minister Stuarty, in terms of his popular nickname in the press. And he talked about the lessons of sport, and of course thanked all parents and the sacrifices that parents make in getting these young people here. It certainly does bear mentioning once again.
Yeah, so much happening in Trinidad and Tobago because, of course, a national election is coming up pretty soon.
12 days, in fact, on the 28th of April. So that's just a few days from now. And Prime Minister Stuart Young, the 50-year-old, a lawyer by profession, he is the one to speak there. There's Shakaramas away to the back, and the other side, the open water swim, will take place at a venue at the top of your picture there. What a sight it is.
It is quite a sight. That's a beautiful shot of the area around the Hazel Crawford Stadium for these Carifta Games.
Donald, this area is called Invaders Bay. This is where the British landed when they took over the country from the Spanish in 1797. Just to give you a little history there, Donald, Invaders Bay.
Depending on how much international track and field you have covered, most venues like this, you will have a full warm-up track. It's not a full warm-up track here at the Hasely Crawford Stadium, as you can see from that beautiful overhead shot. It's pretty much a curve and a straightaway.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, this stadium did not exist when Hasely Crawford won the gold medal back in 1976. The quality of track that we have now in Trinidad and Tobago did not exist when he won that gold medal. So certainly that gold medal win spurred along the development of track and field. Larry Romani, the head of the local organizing committee, is about to speak now.
All ministers of government,
So we're going to have several more speeches coming up, and we're standing by for those speeches. But really, a wonderful.
For a second, I thought we were going to one of those.
Yeah, I thought so too. But we will probably join in just a few. But certainly, what we've seen so far, some wonderful stuff, and the athletes seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah, as they usually do. And as I said, it's different when you have the opening ceremony the day before the start of competition, because I think it gives an opportunity for more of the athletes to be involved. You will get a lot of them who don't get the opportunity because they still have competition early on Saturday, and so, you know, they're resting for that and so on, but still really wonderful to see this.
A lot of the athletes would have arrived last night as well, as they prepare for competition, a little over 24 hours before competition gets underway. And a few of them would be involved in the opening ceremony. You would have seen a few of them as well. So it's just about managing their time ahead of competition.
Yeah, and it's managing energies as well, because, you know, it takes a lot to compete, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint as well. And so all of those emotions are being managed. And I think you also have to understand, for a lot of these athletes, the Carifta Games represents a significant part of their development, a significant part of their journey, and for many of them, they will see this as the biggest event that they've had the opportunity to compete at to date.
Now let's join Larry Romani, chairman of Sport TT. He's speaking now.
Competition, 2 world-class stages, 1 Caribbean celebration of talent, excellence and determination. Carifta is a launch pad of greatness. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, our own legends made their marks at Carifta before attaining international success. Michelle Lee Ahi, Kishon Walcott, J.U. Gordon, and more. Recently, Nikolai Blackman in the pool are part of a long list of athletes that began their journey on a Carifta stage. This weekend, we look forward to seeing new stars rise. You, the athletes carrying the hopes of your nation and the undeniable spirit of the Caribbean, are the essence of Carifta. So today, I ask of you only this: compete fiercely, respect your rivals, embrace every single moment of this experience. To our dedicated coaches, parents, and team managers, thank you for guiding and supporting these young champions. Your best work may lie behind the scenes, but it also is the foundation of every medal, every record, and every personal best. I am also grateful to our Ministry of Sport and Community Development and the local organizing committee and every partner who helped bring this vision to life. Your commitment to youth development and sporting excellence is illuminating our afternoon. And I wish to place special thanks to the staff of the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, who took many hours, days, and weeks to prepare both this venue and the venue in Couva for swimming. To the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we look forward to your heartfelt, enthusiastic support as our athletes pursue history. Together, let us showcase our world-class facilities and unmatched warmth and hospitality to our regional family, alongside our love for the red, white, and black. It is our strength and unity that makes us who we are. Let the games begin and the Caribbean shine. Thank you.
Larry Romani there, chairman of Sport TNT, the sports company of Trinidad and Tobago, continues to influenced the development of sports in the nation. Also former president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee as well.
Yeah, several achievements. One of the celebrated sports administrators here in Trinidad and Tobago, former CEO of WIPA, and also the chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Professional Football League, known for being able to build cohesion within groups, and that's not only because he has a BSc in polymer chemistry from York University. And coming up next, Maureen Crows, the Pan Am Aquatics president and also a member of World Aquatics.
President Al-Musalam, President Co of Athletics and Aquatics World Federation, distinguished guests, coaches, officials, and above all, definitely, the most important reason why we are here, and it is you, the athletes. It is the only reason we are here. It is a true privilege to stand in front of you here in Trinidad and Tobago for the opening of the Carifta Swimming and Athletics Championship. We are surrounded by the best age group athletes in the Caribbean, our future world champions, our future Olympians, and what we certainly hope are future sport leaders. As a proud representative of World Aquatics, I've had the honor of traveling across the Caribbean with our president, visiting national federations, and ending here in Trinidad, surrounded by 24 national federations with athletes in aquatics. This trip is a sign of the commitment of our president to work together with government, with national federations, with Olympic committees, to ensure that every one of our aquatic athletes can thrive and develop into the best possible human and athlete possible. To all of the athletes, you're not just representing your country. You are the future of sport in the Caribbean. We are proud of you, we believe in you, and we will continue to work to make you be able to make your dreams a reality. Just look at the recently elected IOC president. She hails from aquatics, and she started as an athlete representative. Miss Kirsty Coventry is a role model, and I hope that many of you will follow in her footsteps. It is now my distinct honor to introduce the president of World Aquatics, Mr. Captain Hussein Al-Musalam.
Your Excellency, Mr. Stewart Richard Young, Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Larry Romani, President of the Local Organizing Committee, my dear friends and colleagues, good afternoon. I am very happy to be in the beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago, for the opening ceremony of the Carifta 2025. This is my first time attending these games, but today I visited the swimming pool and I was so happy to see the aquatics athletes, our future. And I committed to do all what I can to support you and to support the Caribbean to be one of the top nations in the aquatics. I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for the Trinidad government and for the local organizing committee, and thank you athletes, coaches, for attending this important game in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain Al-Musalam.
World Aquatics.
We'd like
And
to
just to reference the title of captain, he's a retired airline pilot and a former national swimmer for his native Kuwait, president of the Aquatics, World Aquatics since 2021. Up next will be Michael Sands, Bahamian by nationality, and the president of NACAC, North American and Central Association, Athletics Association.
Thank you. Hello, Trinidad. What a pleasure to be here. I stand on the established protocol, and in so doing, I'd wish to open by a quote from one Nelson Mandela, who once said, "Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to unite in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in a language that they understand." Wow. What a great joy for all of us to be united once again at the iconic Hazley Crawford Stadium here in Port of Spain, Trinidad, for the official opening of the 52nd edition of our world-renowned Carifta Games, which is arguably the best junior athletics competition to be found anywhere on the planet. I would be remiss if I did not take 1 second to recognize my long-lost friend and as whose name this stadium is honored. Let us please welcome the iconic Hazley Crawford. Hazley, please stand. Hazley, please stand. So here we are gathered with all of our treasured Carifta family in one place, celebrating and introducing yet another generation of track and field and aquatic athletes competing for honors as they stand for excellence. Today, you, the competing athletes, have been fresh memories of the outstanding performances of St. Lucia's Julian Alfred, a Carifta gold medalist and now Olympic champion. Thea Lafon of Dominica, another gold medalist, who have followed in the footsteps of athletes from Jamaica, the Bahamas, Grenada, and our host Trinidad and Tobago, among others, in announcing to the world our athletic strength. This weekend, you have the opportunity to make your mark, to place your names boldly in the annals of our region's rich athletics history. We express our gratitude to the founding fathers of these Carifta Games, Sir Austin Sealy of Barbados, Raul Raphael, and Dr. Jesse Noel, both of Trinidad and Tobago. Though not physically present with us today, I'm sure they are tuned in. And gentlemen, we thank you for the vision that has allowed you to allow our beloved sport of athletics to grow from strength to strength. Through Sports TT, we thank the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the Entry TT, a very special thank you also to the array of sponsors. In so doing so, I pause for a few moments to make an urgent plea to corporate NACAC and indeed all of our area governments in providing the invaluable support that is so desperately needed for all of our federations, because without your continued support and increased support, sports will continue to face an uphill battle to the disenfranchised of our area athletes. And I'm so pleased when I heard the Prime Minister speak to that, because at this point, I also am on record as knowing that I've asked for a discussion with CARICOM to be viewed not as a cost, but sports rather as a positive investment that will provide opportunities for our next generation of athletes and future leaders. Nelson Mandela also emphasized that sport can create hope where once there was only despair. I conclude by thanking you, the wonderful, enthusiastic supporters of athletics for hosting us on the occasion of our 52nd edition of these games. Lastly, but by no means least, on behalf of NACAC Athletics, we are also thank the Carifta family of our NACAC member federations and associations for being here with your athletes who know that the world is watching and anticipating excellent record performances where stars are always born. Long live these Carifta Games. Best of luck to all our athletes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sons. And indeed, it is a pleasure to have amongst us a piece of Trinbago's beautiful history, after whom the stadium is named, Mr. Heasley.
And Tamer Williams, the former Trinidad and Tobago gymnast. Yeah, and she's there. And former gymnast, of course, one of the greatest ever from Trinidad and Tobago, denied controversially the opportunity to compete at the 2016 Olympics. It was a massive issue here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now settled into family life and training persons in gymnastics. So coming up next is an Olympic legend, Ricardo and Donald. Lord Sebastian Coe, the Olympic medalist, the gold medal winner in 1980, 1984 in the 1500 meters.
Not often has he lost in life, Lord Sebastian Coe. Unfortunately, in the race for the IOC presidency earlier this year, that's one that he came up short. Regular visitor to the Carifta Games, and he's back again, the World Athletics president.
Distinguished guests, athletes, coaches, delegations, and all of you who love athletics and sport, I'm delighted as President of World Athletics to be here on the 52nd edition of the Carifta Games. That in itself is an extraordinary achievement. But that 6 of those editions have taken place in Trinidad is absolutely testament to the importance and role that sport at every level plays in this beautiful country. This is my 8th Carifta Games. It is the first event that goes into my calendar every year. I'm delighted on that basis to also be joined by many of my Global Council members and colleagues who also understand the importance of this event. Mike Sands, my esteemed president of NACAC, a few moments ago observed that this is arguably the best junior championships in the world. I rarely disagree with Mike Sands, but I'm going to go one stage further. I don't think this is arguable. This, in athletics, is the most important junior competition in the world. It's also fitting that it should take place in this iconic Hazley Crawford Stadium. One of my inspirations to join the ranks of international athletics was the extraordinary performance, persona, passion and commitment of Hazley, epitomized in the extraordinary 1976 Olympic 100-meter win. Hazley, I'm glad you're with us today. I'm not surprised you're sitting up with the athletes on the finishing line. Thank you for being such an inspirational figure to me and to the many of you who all also know the impact that Hazley has had. So let me thank you for being here. Let me thank you for supporting Carifta over many years, and I look forward to the famous Carifta conveyor belt of young, talented athletes continuing, and I know these championships will produce many of the champions of tomorrow. Thank you, good luck, and I look forward to meeting many of you over the next 3 days. Thank you.
Paisley Crawford.
Thank you so much.
We expect a few more cultural performances again, but a massive statement by Lord Sebastian Coe about these being the most important, I think is what he said, youth track and field championships.
Certainly extremely important to the region. It's an opportunity for the stars of tomorrow to show what they are made of at an early stage. Doesn't guarantee success at the next level if you do well here. Think about 2005, for example, when Shelley and Fraser Price competed for Jamaica. She only ran the relay. She became the Olympic champion only 3 years later.
Something to aim for, though, as we go into a next gear at this opening ceremony.
And the performance is Caribbean Connection, first sung by the late great Calypsonian merchant.
Hey, let's have a party. A Caribbean party. The entire region together in one big smash down fiesta. A Caribbean connection. I want to hear you sing it. A regional vibration. Well, I say we jamming to the sounds of the Caribbean. We grooving to calypso and steel pan. I ain't all here. I want to see the flags. I want to see all the rep on your country. This jam go be Irie. It's one love, so feel free. For we are one people, one destination. So let us move on without hesitation. A Caribbean connection, yeah, yeah, yeah. A regional vibration. When I say we jamming to the sounds of the Caribbean, we grooving to calypso and steel pan. I ain't hearing all here. Whoa. Jamaica, where all here? I ain't seeing Jamaica. Guyana. Trinidad and Tobago. I find for Caribbean countries only real stush. I ain't even seeing nobody moving their ways. Hey. Getting together. So should every leader. For we are one people, one destination. So let us move on without hesitation. A Caribbean connection. Boy, a regional vibration. When I say we jamming to the sounds of the Caribbean, we grooving to calypso and steel pan.
Hey, jam it. A Caribbean connection, a regional vibration. Yeah. Jam it. The venue is Trinidad, and we getting on real bad. A true Caribbean Callaloo mix up, and when we jam down, we going non-stop. A Caribbean connection, a regional vibration. When I say we jamming, to the sounds of the Caribbean we grooving, to calypso and steel pan. Ooh, jam it. Ooh, ooh. I want to see you wave your flag, rep your country. Boy, jam it, jam it. Oh God, oh God, oh God. I said we ready, ready. A Caribbean connection, a regional vibration. Jam it.
You can see that he has a lot of old school about him with a bit of a modern twist as well. And the crowd really likes him. National Calypso Monarch 2023, the youngest ever to reign. Nice performance.
And a great message as well. Caribbean vibration, Caribbean connection. And talking about Caribbean vibration and Caribbean connection, there's a very special Caribbean man that's celebrating a birthday today, Paul Francis. Happy birthday to you, sir. Coach Trade Williams to 2 World Championship bronze medals for Barbados, and Kishon Naz to a World Under-20 bronze medal last year for Barbados as well. Has a few Bahamians in his setup, so real Caribbean vibration connection going on there. And of course, unfortunately, one of his leading Jamaican chargers, Gary Card, injured and won't be at Carifta this year, but certainly a happy birthday to the great Paul Francis.
Yeah, so just I think we have a couple more speeches as well as a few more cultural performances as we wind down the opening ceremony at these Carifta Games. Remember, it's a combination of what will take place in the pool as well. The aquatics championships, the Carifta Aquatics Championships, are taking place at the same time as the track and field Carifta Games.
President of World Aquatics, Mr. Mike Sands. President of NACAC, Mr. Sean Pouchet, President of the Association of Swimming of Trinidad and Tobago, athletes, sport enthusiasts, specially invited guests, media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the government and the warm-hearted people of Trinidad and Tobago, I extend a hearty welcome to the beautiful shores of our Twin Island Republic as we open the 52nd Carifta Games and the 38th Carifta Aquatic Championships. Today, we proudly make history, as this is the first time that both athletics and aquatic events are being staged simultaneously in one country. This is a historic and pioneering moment for Trinidad and Tobago, and we are humbled and delighted to host. To our first-time visitors, we say bienvenido, bienvenue, welcome. To all returning guests, welcome back. This afternoon, sport enthusiasts from all over the Caribbean joined together under one beautiful banner to celebrate a united vision, a joint mission, dazzling diversity, and indomitable determination. We've journeyed here not merely to witness athletic excellence, but to reaffirm the unity, energy, respect, and resilience that bind us together as one happy Caribbean family. Since 1972, Carifta has been a beacon of hope and excellence for student athletes, launching the careers of icons such as Usain Bolt of Jamaica, Shawnee Miller-Wibu of Bahamas, Kirani James of Grenada, and Keyshawn Walcott of our very own Trinidad and Tobago. This is where raw talent is discovered, passion ignited, and lifelong dreams are set in motion. Our 2025 theme, Igniting Passion, Fueling Dreams, captures that essence perfectly, reminding us that sport is far more than medals. It is a powerful engine for youth empowerment, community development, economic growth, and positive social change. In every leap, throw, sprint, and stroke, we glimpse a generation ready to lead, ready to uplift, and unify our region. As Caribbean people, nothing kindles pride more fiercely and firmly than our athletes competing on the world stage, whether at Carifta, Commonwealth, Pan Am, or the Olympic Games. Sport transcends boundaries. It unites like no other. It teaches discipline, fosters resilience, and builds character. It gives our youth purpose and a global platform to inspire hope to others. Behold the power of sport, tried, tested, and true. A lighthouse for the region, a beacon of hope for our youth. The government of Trinidad and Tobago takes immense pride in promoting sport tourism and maximizing the full potential of sport. We continue to invest in our national governing bodies, upgrading our facilities, as well as delivering programs to make sport more attractive, more affordable, and more accessible to our youth. The joint hosting of athletics and aquatics, the first in Carifta's history, is both symbolic and visionary. It signals readiness, synergy, and showcases the enhanced sporting infrastructure and all the beautiful offerings from our countries. From the vibrant Parade of Nations, which brought life to our newly refurbished Hasely Crawford Stadium in Port-of-Spain, to the thunderous cheers that will reverberate across the National Aquatic Center in Cuba, Caribbean pride and power will echo across our nation from corner to corner to corner. Beyond the pageantry, these championships present an economic windfall with more than 1,200 athletes, officials, and supporters representing 28 Caribbean nations. Our local tourism industry stands to benefit from the increased economic activity. We are positioning Trinidad and Tobago as a premier sport tourism destination, always eager to play, always willing to host, and as the world knows, always ready to party. Over the next 3 days, as we stage these auspicious games, we are building a legacy, one that will outlast medals and records, instilling pride in our people, promoting a culture of excellence, strengthening the foundation for a stronger Caribbean, united in vision and mission through the powerful tool of sport. As I close, I extend heartfelt gratitude to N3As, to ASAT, our local organizing committee, Sport TT, other national governing bodies, sponsors, coaches, officials, parents, volunteers, and every stakeholder whose tireless efforts have breathed life into these games. Your passion and commitment form the bedrock of this celebration, and I sincerely thank you. To our athletes, you are the heartbeat of the Carifta movement. As you step onto the track or dive into the pool, carry with you the pride of your nation and the hopes and dreams of a united Caribbean. And despite the outcome, know that you are already champions of courage, commitment, and champions of a better and brighter future for the Caribbean region. So go hard, give it your heart, and most importantly, let your beautiful light shine. May the next few days be filled with passion, pride, excitement, and unforgettable moments. Wishing you all a safe and successful games. May God bless you, may God bless Trinidad and Tobago, and may God bless the entire Caribbean. I thank you.
The Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, appointed Minister of Sport back in 2020, also is the youngest ever Tobagonian to be appointed to the Senate at the tender age of 28. So closing in on 5 years as the Minister of Sport and sharing her hopes for the Trinidad and Tobago's performances and these Carifta games. So there's a cultural performance coming up. There's also the founding fathers, two of those from Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Jesse Noel and Raul Raphael, both of them parliamentarians here in the House of Representatives and the Senate Trinidad and Tobago. Those two men, Dr. Jesse Noel and Raul Raphael, they're not here with us, but they are two of the framers of these Carifta games. And we're getting ready for a cultural performance. It's the pianist Emmanuel Joseph who will be performing next on the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. The steel pan was just this year included as part of the coat of arms of Trinidad and Tobago.
A celebration of rhythm and roots. Let us enjoy a musical tribute performed by pianist Emmanuel Joseph, joined by the captivating Northwest Lavantil dancers. He will be performing a piece of zouk music, which is a musical movement and dance pioneered by the French Antillean band Cassav in the early 1980s. Mr. Joseph was awarded the National Youth Award for Arts and Culture and is a proud member of the BP Renegades Steel Orchestra. Let's hear it for Mr. Joseph and the Northwest Lavantil.
Emmanuel Joseph there was awarded the National Youth Award for Arts and Culture. Of course, the National Youth Awards is an initiative of the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, and it seeks to recognize the worth of youth who are pioneers in their various fields.
He was accompanied there by the Northwest Laventille Dancers, and Emmanuel is part of the famous BP Renegade Steel Orchestra, the 13-time national champions here in Trinidad and Tobago. They were led at one time by Jit Samaru, the legend of Panorama here in Trinidad and Tobago, now under the baton of Duvon Stewart, another one of the great arrangers in Trinidad and Tobago. And Donald and Ricardo, if you thought that performance was long, a young man from Trinidad and Tobago, Joshua Regrello, set a world record back in December, playing 30 hours straight on the steel pan.
That's a long time.
Certainly is, and I'm sure he slept for at least a week after that. He might still be sleeping, who knows?
I can't imagine doing anything for 30 hours.
Yeah, it was a remarkable effort, and certainly a lot of performers were around him, and they were all part. Everybody was really great in terms of being part of that world record effort. And of course, he was playing the steel pan, Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument. First appeared in the 1930s, so we are homing on the 100th anniversary of the appearance of the steel pan, but it really came out in force on V-Day back in 1945-46 there, when the Allies celebrated victory in World War II.
Do you get the feeling as well that the steel pan means so much to Trinbagonians? I remember at the 2022 Commonwealth Games, after Jareem Richards won his 200 title, defended his 200 title, he made a special request for the anthem with the steel pan.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, it was a great moment. So still brings goose pimples to my arms when I hear that. There is the hills of Laventille in east of Port of Spain, and at the top on your right there's the famous shrine that is on the top of the hills in Laventille. And a shot there of the eastern part of Port of Spain. Several of the buildings. You might get a little glimpse of the Queen's Park Oval just in there somewhere.
Visited the Queen's Park Oval for the first time yesterday. My good friend Roland Bino ensured that I enjoyed a lovely lunch at the venue.
There are some iconic stadiums here in Trinidad and Tobago. Islay Crawford Stadium, of course, being one of them.
Yeah, this was built back in 1982, but the bulk of the stadium were built for the 2001 FIFA Under-17 World Cup, the Dwight York Stadium, where this event was held back in 2005. The Atto Boldon Stadium in which is built in Couva, the Larrigome Stadium, named after the former West Indies cricketer in Arima, and the Manny Ramjohn Stadium, which is in Marabella, named after the first man from Trinidad and Tobago to win a medal at a major event.
Part of the legacy of Austin Jack Warner.
Yes, certainly. He was the big inspiration behind the construction of the stadia back in 2001, a games that saw France win the World Cup back right here at this venue, beating Nigeria 3-0.
Irfan Owls taking the stage here. The final cultural performance at these Carifta Games.
Well, for the opening ceremony, that is.
Yeah.
There's also a closing ceremony, and I'm sure we'll get cultural performances there as well.
As well. Precisely. Thank you, Ricardo.
I'm here for you, man.
Ruben Walters set to perform now.
We're ready! We're ready! We're ready! We done started! Them can't challenge me! Wave! Let's have the dancers! Step there, chef, make it clear! Turn up the place right there! Oh God! Right there, right there! Right there, right there! Right there, right there! What we say? Coming up here! Coming up here!
Let me see those hands. Everybody follow me. Wave your flag. Represent God for your life. Here we go. In a minute. I tell you all about the stage. Everybody. Back on the stage. Hold on your breath. We say, we brave, we ready. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. We brave, we ready. Them can't challenge me. Let it rise. We're gonna have prolific performances here. What's going on? Carifta again. Hey. 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 You know why? Brave, we ready. Brave, spirit. Stamping them all over. Stamping them all over. Stamping them all over. Which one? Stop it, stop it, stop it. 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 This is the situation. We're gonna let the spirit in here. You ready? One. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. Juve. Party on the. Say Juve. Party on the road. Chaparasi look one day. Chaparasi. Spirit calling. Chaparasi look one day. Spirit calling. Spirit calling. Everybody follow me. Up in the star. From left to right. Let's win. Everybody rock them with. Everybody rock them with. Everybody rock them with. Everybody something with. Don't stop.
When I raise my hands in the air once more, I want to see every flag of every country up in the air. You ready?
Everybody with. Everybody rock them with. So everybody rock them with. Everybody something with. No stop. You know why? Music in my blood. Can you feel the spirit calling? Music in my blood. Can you hear the spirit calling? Melody. Feel the rhythm beating like this one heartbeat. Everybody. Everybody follow me to the left. Everybody to the left. Everybody to the left. We're going to the right now. Everybody ready? Everybody to the left. To the right. To the right. Everybody to the right. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Bring the spirit alive. Everybody to the right. Love it more. To the right. Music in my blood. Feel the spirit. Feel the spirit. Can hear the spirit calling. Feel the rhythm beating. Stop again. Let's go. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago.
You know, I made a mistake earlier by saying that it felt like the closing ceremony, because usually a party this hard at the end of an event. But it's just the beginning, and we are here for it in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, the appetite is certainly whet. If this is what we can expect on the track and in the pool over the next 3 or 4 days, then we are in for quite a treat. And this is a marvelous way to get us started for Carifta 2025 in Trinidad and Tobago.
One thing for sure is that the Caribbean knows how to do sport and music right.
Urban Owls there performing in front of the big crowd, and the athletes from Trinidad and Tobago, after weeks of training, cutting loose a little bit, letting off some steam.
They are certainly enjoying themselves. So are they.
Well, the vibes are certainly evident here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. We are looking forward to an amazing next few days here in Trinidad and Tobago as we prepare for these Carifta Games, the 52nd edition here on the track. And of course, in the pool, we'll be having the Aquatics Championships as well. Ricardo, it's been fun over the last couple of hours, and I'm sure it sets the tone for the next few days.
Well, as I said, my appetite is wet. I can't wait for competition to begin on Saturday. Really looking forward to that. On the track, the 100 heats and finals, the 400 heats and finals, as well as the 1500 finals, some of the big track events coming up, and a lot of action will be happening in the field as well. And that's where our live coverage will be coming from, of course. And for now, I really want to get off this stage so I can
join them, really,
and enjoy what is happening out on the track, because it's a real party, and maybe this is the last time I'll get to party before
the action gets
down to work.
All right, got it. So I guess we're signing out then. Ricardo, it's been a pleasure. Vidya, it's also been a pleasure. And of course, you can join us for a full coverage of the Carifta Games here in Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow morning. You can watch it on all the different platforms, on Russ Sports, on SportsMax, on the SportsMax app, on Scene TV, and of course across the various television stations across the region. It's going to be our absolute pleasure to bring you coverage of these Carifta Games.
Let's party!
Let's party.